Imagine 100 women saying, "I want to change my life." But here's what really happens. 90 of them never take even one tiny step. 9 of them start, but quit after a few months. And then there's the 1%, the tiny group that keeps going long enough to actually win. And guess what? They're not smarter. They're not luckier. They just don't stop. That's their secret. And that's how you become part of the 1%. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, step by step, in the simplest way ever. Because I know exactly how it feels to have huge dreams, but zero idea how to go from where you are to where you want to be. I know how it feels when the years keep passing and you're like, why am I barely making progress? What am I doing wrong? And listen, I'm not here to waste your time. I've watched a million videos like this. They hyped me up for maybe a day, and then the motivation disappeared, like nothing ever happened. So the real question is there actually a solution? Or are you always going to feel overwhelmed by your goals? Hello, fellow warriors. Welcome or welcome back to the Goddess of War. If you've ever made the vision boards, written the goals, bought the cute planner, paid for the course, and still couldn't follow through, this video is for you, because today I'm going to show you exactly how to finally be consistent with a simple 3-step system I developed that works for any goal. I call it the 1% consistency code. And if you're watching this, it already means something important. You're done living like the 99%. You're done breaking promises to yourself. So stay with me, because what I'm about to show you will change the way you move forever. The first step is by far the most important, but unfortunately, the most ignored. I call it, make it stupidly easy. Listen, most women don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they make everything way too heavy and way too complicated from day one. They want to be impressive before they're even consistent. So they create these perfect schedules they can't stick to, 10-step morning routines, Pinterest-level meal plans, and from Monday I'll become a completely new person energy. And then they collapse under their own expectations. It is so much more powerful to have a simple, almost boring plan that you actually follow than a genius plan you never begin. When that motivation spark hits you, it's easy to get inspired. You see the vision, you feel unstoppable, you swear, this time I'm serious. But that high is not the problem. The problem is that you build your whole strategy around a feeling that never lasts. Motivation is a spark, useful to light the fire, but terrible as your only source of heat. Consistency was never about being strong enough. It's about design. Not the life you fantasize about, but the life you quietly set up behind the scenes. So how do you actually make it stupidly easy to start and to keep going? Remove anything that makes it hard. You make the action so easy, so obvious, so unavoidable that you don't have the space to talk yourself out of it. You need to set up your life so the thing you want to do is as easy as possible to do. For example, I've always struggled to stay consistent with cleaning. Not because I'm lazy, but because our house is big, and a Sunday cleaning marathon used to destroy me. So I changed the plan. Instead of letting everything pile up until the weekend, I try to keep the house tidy during the week. And tidy simply means this: every object goes back to its home. When the house stays tidy, cleaning is easy. Vacuum, mop, clean surfaces, and I'm done fast. But when it's not tidy, I waste hours just putting things back where they belong. If you have kids or a partner, I know this can feel harder. So make it easier for yourself. Keep a small basket in every room. When clothes, toys, or random stuff end up on the floor, you don't fight it, you just drop it in the basket. It takes 2 seconds, and your space stays tidy. Another example is that if I want to make my mornings easier, I don't leave everything for last minute. I pack my lunch and choose my outfit the night before. And guess what? My clothes are already ironed from the weekend because I refuse to waste my morning fighting with clothes. When I wake up, I don't have to think. I just get dressed, grab my lunch, and go. The point in step 1 is this: remove the thinking around the action. Remove the decisions. Because the more decisions you have to make, the weaker you feel. Decision-making drains you, even tiny ones. When you make the action almost brainless, you make it easy. And when it's easy, you actually do it. The same rule applies to fitness. If you want to stay consistent with the gym, you don't have to go every single day. That's unrealistic. And honestly, it's why most people quit. 2 strength training full body sessions a week with progressive overload is the minimum to see real results if you stay consistent. 1 hour, twice a week. That's it. Now let's say your goal is to read more. In that case, don't rely on discipline. Leave the book open on your pillow. When you see it at night, the question isn't, should I read? It becomes, how many pages? Even 2 pages are more than okay. Same with studying. If you want to study more, keep your books and laptop open on your desk so you don't waste energy setting things up every time. And if your desk drains you, pack your bag, pick an outfit the night before, and study in a cafe. New space, new energy. That's what making it stupidly easy looks like. Your job in step 1 is to hunt down every tiny excuse you know you're going to use later and kill it in advance. Less decisions equals less stress, which means more consistency. And then comes the part that separates the 1% from everyone else. Repetition. Repetition is not glamorous, it's not exciting, but repetition is what creates habits. And habits is what makes results stack over time. This is where you want to give yourself permission to be boring. Boring is good here. A lot of people start off with the same motivation, but the ones who win are the ones who build a plan that's easy, and then they repeat it until it becomes second nature. So try to do the same action at the same time in the same place until you run on autopilot. The second step is something almost every woman ignores. After making things easy, they think the job is done, but it's not. Because if your environment doesn't support your goal dies. That's why step 2 is called surround yourself. And what I mean by this is simple. You need to keep what you're working on right in your face. Surround yourself with reminders, with the right people, with the right content, with the right triggers. Things that pull you toward your goal instead of away from it. That means if you want to study more, you shouldn't fill your feed with people who travel the world. It will make you feel like crap. Surround your mind with study content, quiet study vlogs, ASMR study videos, productivity tips, people doing exactly what you want to do. When you keep seeing others focus, your brain starts copying that energy. And this is something I used to do all the time in university. My entire Instagram feed was full of study reels, and YouTube kept recommending study with me videos and focus playlists. I surrounded myself with the energy I wanted, and my mind followed. And whenever I had zero motivation to study, I used social media for me, not against me. I'd watch a study vlog or scroll Pinterest for study aesthetics, and that was usually enough to get me started, even on days I didn't feel like it. And of course, the same thing works for working out, for cleaning, for reading, or for any other goal. Social media can be your favorite weapon sometimes. For example, when you don't feel like cleaning, you can literally put on a clean with me video on the TV. There are thousands of them, and just seeing someone else move is enough to pull you into motion. If you surround yourself with the right cues, you won't need willpower. You'll just move. And the same applies if your goal is, for example, weight loss. Keep it right in your face. Put a small note on your fridge with your goal, so you see it before you open it mindlessly. And let's talk about people, because your circle is also part of your environment. If your goal is to wake up earlier and go to the gym, you can't keep saying yes to the friend group that goes out for drinks every Friday and stays out until 3 a.m. It doesn't make them bad. It just means their lifestyle doesn't match your goals right now. And the same goes for money. If your goal is to save, you can't keep spending every weekend with the friend whose hobby is trying fancy restaurants. Again, it doesn't make them wrong. It just means you need different boundaries for the season you're in. Another part of surrounding yourself is filling your environment with visual cues you can't ignore. Not to prepare your future self, but to constantly remind your mind of who you're trying to become. Like leaving your gym bag where you can see it, not hidden in a closet, or keeping your water bottle on your desk so you drink more without thinking, or putting a sticky note with your why somewhere your eyes land every morning. These cues aren't preparation, they are identity reminders. The third step is where most women destroy their progress, not because they're weak, but because they want to be perfect. So step number 3 is what I call redirect your need for perfection. And here's what I mean by that. If you're like me and you've struggled with perfectionism, you don't have to kill that part of you. You just have to redirect it. Instead of obsessing over perfect days, obsess over showing up again. Trade your need for perfection for a need for persistence. Because consistency does not mean showing up every single day, no matter what. It simply means you show up much more often than you don't. And perfectionism makes that impossible. Because perfectionism creates 2 problems, and the second one destroys your progress even faster than the first. The first problem is obvious. Perfection makes you quit. The moment you miss one day, one workout, one plan, your brain goes, well, I ruined it. I'll start again on Monday. That's how the 99% think. all or nothing, perfect or failure, black or white. And that's why I'm saying this. I am sick and tired of trend videos telling you December is the month to lock in and get ahead. It's a trend. That's why it never lasts. Most creators say it only to sell something. They create fake pressure. They make you believe that if you don't start on Monday or on the first day of the month, you've already failed. So people who could start today simply don't. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for Monday. They wait for the first of the month. And then when they miss it, they say, well, I already messed up. I'll start next week. Listen to me. This is a psychological prison made of calendars and dates that literally mean nothing. Mondays have no power. January 1st has no power. You can start and restart any moment you decide to. And here's the truth. If you're chasing the perfection of never missing a day, you will always feel like a failure, because that's impossible. Life happens even on January 1st. Plans change even on Mondays, and your energy drops even on weekends. Missing one day doesn't ruin you. What matters is how fast you come back. Skip the guilt, skip the drama, and get right back on track as quickly as possible. If you missed Wednesday, get back on track Thursday. Don't push it to Monday. Don't restart the whole week. One bad day only becomes 5 if you let it. So one of the best mindset shifts you can make is this. Never miss 2 days in a row. Life will happen. But when you refuse to miss the second day, you become unstoppable. Now, a worse problem with perfection is this. You think everything in your life has to level up at the same time. And trust me, I love a good vision board. But here's where most women go wrong. They treat their vision board like a do all of this right now checklist. They look at everything they want at once, the body, the grades, the money, the glow up, the routines, the relationship, and they expect to become that girl overnight. So they go from zero structure to trying to eat clean, work out daily, wake up early, meditate, journal, look flawless, and build their dream life, all in 1 week. Of course it doesn't work, not because they're weak, but because no one can rebuild an entire life in 7 days. Trying to change everything at once doesn't make you motivated. It makes you overwhelmed. And overwhelmed women quit faster than unmotivated women. But the 1%, they don't live like that. They choose one main priority per season, and they go all in on that. When I wanted to get my law degree, I had to let go of YouTube for a while. I wasn't monetized, my views were very low, and honestly, it made no sense to feel guilty because I knew I would come back stronger. Studying 8+ hours a day and creating content at the same time was simply not possible. So I let YouTube take the back seat for 3 months, focused on the goal that mattered most in that season, and suddenly, I actually made progress. And this applies to saving money, building a business, finding a husband, growing your career, or healing yourself. Sometimes even your social life has to take a temporary backseat. Not forever, just for the season you're in. You don't need to chase 10 goals at once. You need to chase the right one right now. So the 1% consistency code comes down to these 3 things. Number 1, make the action stupidly easy. Number 2, surround yourself with cues that pull you forward. And number 3, trade your need for perfection for a need for persistence. But listen, before you go, I want to tell you something most women never realize. Sometimes, the reason you can't stay consistent isn't you. It's the people around you. Because if you care too much about what others think, you will sabotage your goals every single time without even noticing. And the crazy part is that letting go of their opinions is way easier than you think, once you understand the psychology behind it. So click on this video right here. I'm going to show you why not giving a damn is actually your greatest superpower. It's time to unleash your inner confident goddess. See you there, warrior.